We are back with a packed show this week. We're starting with a bizarre RAM heist in South Korea and the ultimate end to the console wars, courtesy of a Chinese modder, believe it or not. We've also got some absolute Inception level modding inside HYTALE. And we're also diving into the recent news that NVIDIA is slashing graphics card production for consumers. But on the bright side, AMD is fighting on the side of gamers, or at least that's what they say they're doing. You know the drill. Let's get into it. All right, this might be the most tactical heist that we've ever heard of. Get this, a burglar broke into a tech office in South Korea and left the computers, but took 4 sticks of RAM. So let's investigate and see if there's any clues. Guys, this is crazy. We now have burglars who are not looking for GPUs. No. They're not looking for full systems. Oh, no. They are looking for sticks of RAM, and you won't believe what brand of memory they took. It's almost poetic how this story ended up. Check this out. We'll get to it. South Korean design office was hit by a thief who only stole DDR5 memory, which apparently is now, that's the new strategy for thieves, Travi. They just go in and they're like, I don't care about what's in the drawers.
Follow the money.
Follow the money. They're looking for RAM, Travi. They're looking for RAM now. Check this out. According to a post shared on a local forum, the intruder entered the design office area and smashed the tempered glass side panels. He smashed the side panels on the desktops. He didn't even take them off. He smashed the tempered glass side panels on 2 desktops. Desk drawers, other items, untouched. He didn't even go there. The only missing hardware, drum roll, system memory, stolen parts. This is where things get interesting. Boys and girls, what brand of memory do you think was stolen from these workplace systems? 4 micron DDR5 5600 32GB modules. According to the thread, the systems were intact. These systems even had GPUs in them. Thief was like, nah, I don't need all that. I don't want VRAM. I want RAM. He got 4 sticks. How much is that worth? A lot. Jensen, is that you? Do you think Jensen was the one that did this? Jensen, is that you?
He has goons.
He has goons. It's unclear why the suspect would single out micron modules. Oh, I think we know why. But since the company has quit the consumer market with its memory, perhaps it wasn't a thief at all. Maybe it was a collector of fine memory. What are the comments saying? Hide your chips, hide your RAMs. Very astute comment, Orangey Julius. Clown World. Yep, most probably a collector. And the comment we were all waiting for? AI's to blame. Probably Sam Altman, honestly, that broke in. I would imagine that was Sam. Didn't want rigs, just wanted the gold. RAM is officially the new Bitcoin. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. So have fun out there, because it's going to get worse, and it just shows how desperate the RAM market is. We're in the midst of the great memory heist of 2026, because I guarantee this won't be the last story like this we hear.
How are you going to rob somebody and only come out with 4 sticks, though?
I mean, it keeps it discreet. All you need is a couple pockets.
I don't know what it is in South Korea, but like, what's the limit cutoff for felony?
It's sub $1,000, I feel like, or maybe it's 1,000 to 2,000. I feel like it's not a lot to catch a felony for stealing stuff.
Could just be like they're going for a lesser sentence if they ever got caught.
Could be. Like, it's just 4 sticks of RAM. The judge is like, nope, I understand the market. You're going to prison for a long time.
Just 4 little computer chips.
It's just little computer chips. No, that's literally worth $1,000. Crazy stuff, guys. Welcome to 2026. It's getting weird out there. Why would you ever pick a side in the console wars when you could just buy the entire battlefield? A Chinese modder just built the ultimate all-in-one rig that puts Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo in the same box. Wait, red, green, blue. Let's see how they made this monstrosity, shall we? Let's check it out. On the PC side, we've got red, green, blue. The console side, we've got red, green, blue. NVIDIA, AMD, Intel. Nintendo, Xbox, Sony. Red, green, blue.
My dumbass was sitting here just being like Mario,
purple,
Kratos, and Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
The best game of all. Chinese modders have officially ended the console war, so now we get the ultimate red, green, blue console. This, guys, brace for impact, is very cool. I was pretty stoked on this, mostly because of how it turned out. Check this out. Nintendo Xbox 5, 3-in-1 console that switches between PS5, Xbox Series S, and Switch 2 with one button. It's a Chinese hardware modding channel that built a single custom console that combines those 3 into one. And check this out. The finish on it actually looks really good. This looks like it would be upholstery in like a high-end vehicle or something. It looks really fun. The idea started with a simple complaint. Why can't I play all my consoles at the same time? Well, you can't at the same time. There's a button to switch between the 3, but it contains it in one space. I know at home, at my place, you've got all these consoles in front of the TV, and it's kind of annoying, and it looks not the best, mostly because I have kids running around and like putting crap all over it. But this really helps with a footprint of all your consoles. Fitting 3 full consoles together would turn into a heavy block, so they stripped each device down. You can see the motherboards here. The biggest part of this, there's actually 2 pieces that makes this particularly hard to accomplish. You have power delivery, so you have to get power to each of those consoles. A little easier on the Switch because they're just using USB-C, but for the others, 12 volt. And then also cooling. You have to account for cooling. So they actually borrowed a lot of these designs. They were inspired by Apple's 2013 Mac Pro design. You guys remember, it looks like a trash can. And the cooling on that wasn't great. So the fact that they're pulling from it for console cooling, I think is okay. I know the Mac Pro did have some problems with cooling initially, but it's a sound design, right? You're trying to get it into a smaller footprint, which that accomplishes. They needed a layout that could contact multiple boards without turning the enclosure into a tower of fans and ducts. So they came up with a concept of a triangular aluminum block with fins. Now, initially, they tried to go the CNC route, which you might imagine. Thousands of dollars to do that. So they said, hold on a second, let's do casting process instead. So they used a 3D printed PLA model and then embedded in high temperature gypsum and burned the PLA out in a kiln across multiple heat stages. The amount of engineering that went into this is remarkable. Turned out great, and they also wired the PS5 and the Xbox Series S boards to run from 12 volt DC in parallel. So you get rid of your need for power there, and the Switch is easy. That's just USB-C, so that's not a big problem to power that. But the fact that they did this, absolutely insane. You can see the full video on their channel. Very sick how it turned out, and it looks clean. A lot of this stuff, if you're coming up with custom solutions, ends up looking like it's a custom solution. You know what I mean? But these guys actually made it look great as well. So very, very cool. This is the final boss of console modding. It's literally the Swiss Army knife of console gaming. I think is the best way to describe it. And the cable management, as I mentioned before, that's a big highlight of this build out. One power cord, insane. Now I am curious about the actual heat output on this thing, but regardless, they did a great job. This is very cool. You should check it out on their channel. Very, very, very cool. Congrats to these guys for ending the console wars by just slamming everybody into the same room. That's great. Now that's really cool, but if you want a really good all-in-one system, might I recommend a company that you might have heard about on this channel. It's called MetaPCs. Guys, go to metapcs.com and check out our ready-to-ship systems. It's in the name, boys and girls. That means they're ready to ship out the next business day. They come with lifetime support. Beautiful systems with great components you can trust. And if you're sick of hunting around the internet looking for RAM, looking for all your components, what's cheap, what's expensive, go to metapcs.com. We've made it so easy for you to buy a system that is plug and play. Take it out of the box, plug it in, use it. Building your own PC, mad respect. You can totally do that, probably save a little bit of money, but if you just want it to work out of the box, MetaPCs is a great solution. So check us out for ready-to-ship systems, custom builds, even water-cooled builds at metapcs.com today. Use code ZACKNEWS to save at checkout. And now let's get back to the news. Now we've seen people run Doom on a pregnancy test, but this is next level. Check this out. A modder just got Windows 95 running inside the game HYTALE, and yes, you can play Minecraft inside of it. So let's check this bad boy out, shall we? That's right, you have a HYTALE modder who got Windows 95 up and running inside the actual game. Also, some other projects include running Minecraft and HYTALE inside of itself. So we're really getting, someone's got a lot of time here. Now we're to Windows 95. This is pretty crazy. Modders have already showcased some stunning achievements in HYTALE. You have Windows 95 now running inside of the new game, which, who is asking for this? Who knows? Let's take a look at the video and see what it looks like. I'm curious just how far, oh, look, calculator launches on it. It works. What else we got? Notepad works. Oh, so it's kind of like a shared thing. So everyone's using Windows 95 at the same time in the server? Wow. It kind of looks like it. Oh my gosh. This is just absolutely beautiful work. We are officially inside of the Matrix, ladies and gentlemen. I am watching a video of a guy playing Minecraft inside Windows 95 inside a different game. And because what's going on here? This is big turducken energy. This is some turducken stuff going on. Listen, HYTALE isn't even officially out yet, and you've got people already bending this thing to their will. Absolutely insane. Very cool. If you want to check it out, this is interesting stuff. It's available now. There's a link over here. You can check it out on Tom's Hardware. And man, we are now 30 plus years out from the first release of Windows 95, and it's apparently not going anywhere because it's in HYTALE now. What's your question, Travi?
How familiar are you with virtual machines?
Yeah.
I'm curious, like, how many layers deep you could go. Like, if we're thinking of, like, the movie Inception, where, like, time slows down every time they go deeper and deeper into a dream, like, I wonder how many copies of HYTALE you can get before, like, the main one just crashes.
Travi, there's only one way to find out.
And it's by subscribing.
It's by subscribing to this channel. It's cool, man. This is the ultimate time waster. Why would you play one game when you can play 3 at the same time in a virtual desktop nested in a voxel world? Why not? Pretty cool. Let me know what you guys think about this, and if you're going to get Windows 95 running inside of a game. You're not. I know you're not going to do it. It's fun to think about, though.
But if you do, tag us.
Tag us, and also subscribe. Just when you thought you might actually get an upgrade, NVIDIA has other plans. Reports are swirling that they're cutting GPU supply by 20%, and the timing, honestly, it could not be worse. So let's see how much this is going to hurt, shall we? Let's go. Get your ice packs ready, boys and girls, because NVIDIA is reportedly cutting GPU supply to board partners by up to 20%. Now, this is a rumor. We've seen a lot of rumors about 50 series. We've heard the 5070 Ti is going away. Asus says, just kidding, it's not. And it's just, I'm not quite sure anybody knows really what's going on here, but we're going to try to give it our best shot based on the data that we have here coming out of videocards.com. No new GeForce product planned for 2026, claims a leaker. This is mega-sized GPU. We've seen a bunch of leaks, particularly around NVIDIA, coming from this account. This account's claiming that NVIDIA has reduced GPU supply to its add-in card partners by 15 to 20%. According to the same post, NVIDIA continues to bundle its GPUs with memory, which is standard practice, but there is, quote, no new product in 2026. We've kind of figured this. We figured the supercards were like right around the corner. Memory stuff started happening, and NVIDIA said, wait a second, I don't think we're going to get supercards. I think we're going to jump directly to the 60 series whenever that comes out. It'll probably be 2027 if I were to make a guess here. The rumor aligns with recent reports pointing to ongoing supply and allocation changes within the lineup. As I mentioned, Asus has just confirmed that the 5070 Ti and 5060 Ti have both reached end of life status. Update to that as well. They walked it back and said, just kidding, PR rep got it wrong. So again, as I mentioned, there's a whole lot of things going on right now that are just flipping back and forth on this. So you'll just have to be subscribed to keep up on it. The new claim for mega-sized GPU suggests that NVIDIA's production slowdown extends beyond temporary allocation limits. A 15 to 20% supply reduction could mean smaller shipment volumes throughout the year, affecting both consumer and OEM channels. If this is true, the 50 Super may be canceled. You're telling me. I mean, it's all but a fact. I don't think you're going to see super cards. I'd love to be wrong. I really would. That would be awesome. But yeah, I don't think you're going to see 60 cards. Here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. This is NVIDIA basically telling gamers, sorry, the robots need the silicon more than you do. That's kind of what's happening here, if I were to try to interpret everything going on in the world right now. And you know what? It's just a little bit of AI gold rush. That's kind of what's going on here. It's cannibalizing the gaming market. And at this rate, the 5090 is going to be a mythical object. I'm calling it. It's going to get tight.
You seem deeply saddened by this.
It's not great. And mostly because, I mean, this is such a, just personally, I really like PC building. I got into it super young because, quite honestly, like, it was still expensive, but I could afford to. Like, I could afford to get into it with used systems and stuff like that and kind of tinker. It is so hard to tinker with parts that are now thousands and thousands of dollars. It just kind of raises the barrier to entry for people to get into this hobby. So that's why I don't like it. I think, you know, keeping it accessible, especially to like kids who like are wanting to build something or know how something works. We even have kids that take apart our pre-builts or upgrade them and stuff. Like, that's the fun of having a physical device. I'm sure GeForce Now is a great product. I'm sure it works great, but I don't think anything beats having a local machine. And I think this doesn't help that case. It's very tough. I don't know. If you see a card at MSRP right now, guys, honestly, it's to the point where it's just buy it. Don't think about it, because it's about to get ugly, according to everything happening here. Hate to be a downer, but also a little bit of a realist, Travi. You gotta tell people what's going on, right?
Yeah, we just talk about the stuff.
Yeah, I'm not the one making the rules here. I'm just a dude on YouTube. Just a handsome guy with a full head of hair. Why are you laughing?
No reason.
I'm bald, that's why. All right, let's go on to the next story.
This one seems a little bit more hopeful.
A little more hopeful? I'll be the judge of that, Travi, because while Team Green is breaking up with gamers, AMD is coming in to be your supportive bestie. Get this, Team Red's VP stated they're going to be fighting to keep Radeon prices down amongst all of these price hikes. Now, is this a PR stunt, or is someone finally keeping gamers in mind? Well, why don't we take a closer look at what John Radeon had to say about it? AMD says that it's working with board partners to maintain Radeon GPU prices close to MSRP. Good PR move, good title. Is it true? Let's dig into it. AMD says that memory costs will decide how close Radeon graphics cards can stay to suggested pricing in 2026. In an interview during CES, AMD's VP described DRAM pricing and supply as the main constraint for building graphics cards that land at planned price points. Here's a the problem. AMD trying to dictate what the MSRP is becomes difficult when you have brands like Power Color and these board partners. AMD can't dictate to them, hey, I want you to lose money on this card because of increased costs for memory and things like that. Sell it at this price. That's a tough sell for a board partner. AMD doesn't have full control over that. Are they working with board partners to try to keep it close to MSRP? I believe that, but there's only so much control that AMD has on how board partners price cards, especially trying to keep it lower than maybe they're even making any money on. So that's kind of tough too. But regardless, AMD says they are working with long-term DRAM suppliers and add-in card partners to secure supply and keep pricing in check. VP also said that the company can't predict where memory pricing goes next, and that makes it harder to promise anything firm for the retail market. But the fact that AMD is coming out and actually saying, hey, listen, we're trying to keep things closer to MSRP, we're trying over here, can't predict the future, there's some level of transparency there. There's also some level of PR spin as well. That's just a fact. It all comes down to what you actually see in the aisles and what you see online. This is great. I love this. I love the sentiment. If it's real, I think is probably the key point there. You know, this fighting for gamers thing could just be a PR spin. Prices are still going up every month, so I'm not quite sure like how locked in that is. But pricing, again, since we're talking about pricing, it's already visible in the market. Gizmodo actually noted that the 9070 XT carried a suggested $600 price in 2025, but we didn't see that until months into the year, and then we only got to enjoy that 9070 XT at close to MSRP for like a month or 2 months in 2025. Then the memory stuff started happening. Then prices started going up. So I don't know. 9070 XT, just as an example, the Tai Chi White launched this week. Price of $819. That's $220 above MSRP on that ASRock card. So I don't know. AMD can't really control its own board partners. It can work hand in hand with it. But one thing that AMD might have going for it that's good is their use of GDDR6 on some models, which maybe, potentially, could save them from the pricing insanity that is affecting NVIDIA's GDDR7 cards. That's a possibility. I'm not sure how much that will help, but that's something to think about. Let me know what you guys are seeing out there when it comes to AMD card prices, because man, if we could get it closer to MSRP and this is real and it's not just a PR spin, that's a really good converse route for AMD to take versus the competition to say, look, I'm focused on MSRP. I haven't heard NVIDIA say the word MSRP in a long time. AI. Regardless, we'll see what happens. It's all good until we see it on the shelf. So we'll see what happens there.
I have a thought on that one. Do you think AMD is in a position to kind of strong arm the market?
They could be. I mean, strong arm is tough because by definition, strong arm requires leverage. And AMD, if you look at the size of the company, is so much smaller than NVIDIA. But this is where it very well could be strong arming, is if you are speaking to an audience that is feeling a little left out right now, which I would say gamers are feeling a little left out right now. Is there a possibility for them to like increase market share in an underserved area? I think so.
Like, I almost wonder if they're in a position to do like what Arizona Iced Tea does, where like they say, hey, it's 99 cents, and if you try to sell it above 99 cents, we will pull that inventory or not send you anymore.
Potentially. It's tough too, because like I said, I mean, you know, these board partners can't be forced to lose money on a card. So if it's MSRP and they're like, our costs went up, I can't sell it for, you know, $6.99 or $5.99. It's tough for AMD to say, well, do it, let your business die. So it very well could be, but regardless, the fact that we're actually hearing something from AMD on MSRP and prices is at least consider it at the bare minimum, and then we'll see what that looks like in practice. But I guess only time will tell on that.
I'll take this over Micron's answer.
Sure. I don't hate it. We've been lied to so much. My heart can't take no more. Like, we'll have to see like what actually happens, you know? We'll see. We are already 7 months into 2026, and boy, has it been hard. It feels like it for sure. Guys, let me know what you think about this. Let's see what the comments are saying real quick. AMD strategy. Win the press conference, lose the benchmark. Maybe. Again, benefit of the doubt, but we'll see. It is inevitable, the rise of price of video cards. AMD is trying to play nice guy to have a good image, but don't be fooled by any company. They only seek for money. Again, very PR announcement, but we'll see what happens. What's the point when all retailers jack up the prices anyway? That's a good point as well, because you've got AMD, board partners, retailers. So there's a whole lot of layers in between AMD and your card in most instances, right? Custom AIB models always cost more than MSRP, so not sure what the point of that last statement is. It's a fair point. With companies in general, I always take a wait and see approach whenever they say anything, but it's good they're at least saying the right things. Again, guys, a lot of this comes down to, okay, great statement. That's awesome. Show us that you're going to be closer to the MSRP, and then we can talk. Let me know what you guys think about this. I'm sure you've got some fun stuff to weigh in with. Let us know in the comments down below. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. Thanks so much for watching. As always, make sure you check out metapcs.com if you're looking for a new system. Got ready to ship. And Travi, they come with RAM. We're not selling standalone, no RAM systems. These come with RAM.
And you don't even have to break in to get it.
You don't have, please don't break in. It's very secure here. I probably wouldn't do that if I were you. As always, make sure you're subscribed so you get to see videos like this in the future. Hit the like button, leave a comment down below, and as always, we'll see you next time.